Good evening, Facebook, or wherever you happen to be watching this, maybe on my YouTube channel or on another platform of social media. And today, right now, I want to talk to you about vision. I've been missing this for such a long time. I've known about having vision, I've known about setting goals, but it didn't click. It didn't really get to the bottom, get to the real seed in my head, the core. So what is vision all about? Because I'm hearing it all the time in conversations I'm having, social media. Hey Jens, how are you, mate? What I'm reading, it's just popping up all the time. And that made me think, is that always going on? Or is that because my consciousness is now for some reason aware of more vision? Is that coming into my life because I'm more aware of it? Or was it always there and I was just invisible in my eyes until that point? So I was speaking with a well-known speaker a few months back, and he said he went to buy this garish Mercedes, silver-plated Mercedes. I didn't think it was a good idea anyway, but he laughed about it now. But he said as soon as he bought one, he saw 3 when he was driving it home. And he thought, when I bought this, I thought it would be so unique. But what happened there was, were they always there and he just didn't see them? Or did the fact that he was turned on to them, become aware of them, and then became aware of them in his life? So the reason why I'm talking about that is, if we make ourselves aware, we have a vision of the future, what we want our bodies to look like, what we want our finances to look like, what we want our personal relationships to look like, so whatever it may be, whatever your top goals are, if we visualize them in advance, will we then pull that into our lives more quickly, even more? Who knows? It's a possibility, and I know it's being used by coaches around the world. So you could try it on. You could try it on for instance. It's easy. So visualize. Can you tell me exactly what you want your body to look like in a month's time, in 6 months' time, in a year's time? So we're getting towards the end of the year. People setting a lot of new goals. Hey Mark, how are you? Carmen, Emma, how are you? Hi guys. Do you know what your body is going to look like in a year's time? Can you visualize that? Can you visualize, where you want your world to be, what you want yours to be like? And I realized my vision wasn't clear enough, and I hadn't shared it. And that's partly I hadn't shared it because it wasn't clear enough. But been made so clear to me recently how important that vision is. And when people have a conversation with you, we all don't know what everyone's vision is. But if we did, we'd know much more clearly what that person is all about. So we'd understand where that person is coming from if they offer us advice, if they say something that seems out of the ordinary. We'd understand more what they're doing and why they're doing it and why they're talking to us in that tone and in that way. So my vision, Mark, is health wealth. What is that? Health wealth is when you know exactly what to do to bring out your personal best, to be at your personal best. So it's in your lifestyle, in your exercise, in your nutrition, in the supplements you may or may not take. So those 4 areas are what I highlighted is the 4 columns of a healthy, of a productive, of a really successful life lens: lifestyle, exercise, nutrition, and supplementation. So it's looking at your life through a lens, my little acronyms. So when you know all of your lifestyle tips, and having vision is one of those tips. So how clear is your vision? One of the things I'll show you actually, one of the things I set up recently that I thought is really good for body goal, or if you're sticking to something, is to use a calendar and mark off the days, because it helps you I'll show you what I mean. So if you see here, you mark off each day towards Christmas Day, and I know how many days I've got left till Christmas Day. Hope you saw that. So I'll try again. Yeah, so you get your yearly calendar like that. And one thing you could do is get a yearly calendar for the 2017, and mark off, X off how many clean eating days you had, for example. And you could see, well, I had 100 clean eating days this year, or I had 200 clean eating days this year. Be a goal that you've achieved, and you could put a special color marker on that day, or X the whole thing out, whatever you like. But get a system in place that boosts your positivity and supports your what you want to achieve. And eating clean, eating healthy is a big part of that. So big part of our mental state, our physical state. You know, we got to get these little habits in place, and it's the little things over time that really make a difference. So anyway, we went off on a bit of a tangent, but my vision very clearly is health wealth. So knowing exactly what you need to do to bring out your personal best. Now, what does that look like in a community when you get two people doing it? You really support each other, and you talk about, hey, this really worked for me, like I shared that little tip there, and that could really make a difference for someone who struggles to stay clean eating, you know, wants a little sugary snack or something for 3 or 4 days in a row. Hey Sarah, how are you? Eddie, nice to see you, mate. So that may make a difference for someone. Share that, and everything that works for you, share that with people. So you get a little community, 2 people, 3 people, 5 people, all running health wealth, all running these little tips and tricks that they know that work for them, that bring out their personal best, that give them more energy and more vitality. Because I believe the healthier we are, the happier we'll be. And the happier we are, the more we're going to enjoy our lives and the more positive effect we can have on everyone else around us. And if we can pull everyone up a notch or 2 just by having a conversation and being a little bit more positive, maybe just flashing more of a smile. I don't smile enough. I'm a bit too English and a bit too reserved. And we're back in the room. I'm working on it. So it's a work in progress, but you keep going. You keep learning, because every time you stay in the game long enough, you'll learn more, you'll get better. And repetition is the law of skill. You can pick up this skill and live this health wealth. And I visualize a community of people really positive, loving their lives, and maybe this healthier state runs across into their business, maybe becomes part of their business even. Maybe not all of it, but maybe it becomes part of it. And like I'm saying, the healthier you are, the more productivity the more you'll be able to produce, the more, yes, my beard is going grey, but that's not a bad sign. I'm maturing with my thoughts, hopefully. So, keep sharing, stay positive, Freddie, lift me up. This is a health wealth broadcast, and we're looking at positivity, and remaining in a positive state is one big part of it. That's mindset, and that will come into lifestyle. So how we're managing our stress. I put a post out earlier today. It was glass half full, glass half empty. We all know that one, and it's your perception. You get to choose that. Because if we're looking at something and think it's half full, we could quite easily reframe that and say, hold on, I did my best here, and these are the good things that happen, and I'm grateful for X, Y, Z. Reframe it. Always look at the positive, because it just gives you a bit more vibe. You'll have a little bit more success with the people you talk to, because people will want to be with you because you're more positive and energized. And I hope I'm being clear that what I'm all about, I've shared this in a previous video, is happiness, how to create more happiness. Because the crux of everything I do is I want to generate more happiness in everyone and anyone that I can. And the way I do that is through the lens, through health wealth, through the lens system: lifestyle, exercise, nutrition, and supplementation. Because I believe there's principles in each of those that we can all learn, we can all get better at, we can all apply every day of our lives, which make us healthier and therefore happier. And at the end of the day, what I do is I'm a personal trainer and a coach. That's it. And I've got certain elements to my business that I do, and I'm always looking for a better way. If I find a better way, I apply it, I test it myself, and I share it. It's right, Mark. We always have a choice, and it's so easy, probably all over the world. But I say London because I know London. It's quite easy in London. We can be negative. It can be quite a nice, beautiful day, but it's cold, and people say, just focus on the negative. It's cold. It's cold. But that probably happens all over the world, but I might be being a bit too tough on London and Londoners, but we can be a bit too negative, and I'll hold my hands up to that. I can do that as well. And once we can get this community of health wealth going on, that everyone is vibing off each other and lifting up, and there's a few that I'm involved in now that are amazing, and I support them as much as I can, and I mix with those people, because why do you want to spend time with someone if you try and deliver a speech or something and then they make fun of you and they're really a bit negative, that's just not good. You're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and I would spend less and less time with that person unless they bucked up their ideas in a positive way. But if you're with someone, you say, hey, oh, you know, you slipped up on this bit, you stuttered a bit here, you didn't put that point across perfectly, but overall it was amazing, you did a really good job. You know, and that's the way I would always communicate with someone who's really trying and really making an effort to improve areas of their life. Any area, may it be their lifestyle, their exercise patterns, what they're eating, supplements, and so on and so forth. So health, wealth. So I talk wealth rather than rich. So what is that? You have wealth when you have a surplus of money. That's the way we think about it. What's the difference between rich and wealth? Well, rich is you could have a lot of money, but maybe you don't have a surplus of time. You still have a lot of things to do in your day. Maybe. Wealth is when you really do have the money and the time. It really is a choice. So wealth is really, I think, the pinnacle of what we want to aim for. And if we can get wealthy in our bank accounts, we can also do it in our health bank accounts. So therefore, what I mean by that is we're taking care of ourselves most of the time, and then we can have a day or two where we just go a bit ballistic, maybe drink a little bit too much at the Christmas party or eat too much cake or whatever it may be, or not sleep all night, and we're able to handle it. It doesn't really kill us off. Our vibe's still there. We've still got it going on. And that's really having health, wealth. That's having health in the bank that we can have a little bit of a burner for a few days and still bounce back really quickly and be well. So I hope have I been clear about my vision, you know, sharing that health is the core, and then that can affect our state and our happiness, and that can in turn affect our productivity and who we are in the world and how much we can help other people by being that way. So hopefully I've been clear about that, about my vision and how I'm going to share really specific, perfectly clear. Thank you, Sarah. Thanks for answering. There's someone out there. So that's what I'll keep sharing. I'll be sharing ways or lifestyle tips, mindset tips. I do a lot of mindset stuff myself, so that's what I share a lot of because I just love it. I just find that fascinating, and I find that your thoughts can lead your emotions, and then that will lead your words and your actions. So I think that's a really important place to start. And one last thing I want to say is, if you're going through a bit of a struggle, whether it's in your mind, you're a bit low sometimes, or whether it's you're struggling to train regularly, or whether it's thanks, Mark, crystal clear, or whether it's in your food, you can't stay clean. That's your journey. And it's brilliant. It is perfect the way it is. Sounds a bit woo-foo, but it is, because when you go, no matter how, the harder that is, the stronger the lesson you're learning. And when you keep going, if you keep going, and you should keep going, you will break through that, and you'll have an even better story to tell because of all the difficulty you went through. It's amazing. So don't resist that. Accept that exactly the way it is and just keep going. You'll have good days, you'll have amazing days, and you'll have crappy days. That's the way it is. That's it, guys. That's my vision for now. I'll keep sharing. Have an amazing evening. And remember, health and happiness is a skill that you can learn. And this is a better way to bring out your personal best. Let's go get health, wealth, and let's take the world with us. Have an amazing evening, and I'll see you all real soon.